most companies, if you're new.
Sorry?
Good morning, Ahmed. Or
Hey.
actually, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Rachana. How are you?
Good. I just came back last night from Toronto.
Oh, cool. How was the trip?
I was busy, but it was good.
Good. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Cool.
we're starting at 12, right?
Yeah, just like maybe in 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
so
All
yeah,
right.
feel free to grab a coffee or tea meanwhile.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Mhm. Hey, Mike, how are you, sir?
Great, Hamilton. How are you?
Good. Hey, Ronnie, thanks for joining.
Well, you're welcome. How's everything?
Good. How's Ottawa with you? How's the weather? Today's a little bit chilly, huh?
It's and you know what? You know what comes after fall?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yes. I agree. Well, it's again changes.
It's nice and bright though.
Yeah.
It hasn't started raining yet, so
Exactly.
that's what they're forecasting for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Heavy rain.
Yeah, you've seen that Melissa hurricane in Jamaica and Cuba yesterday and today. It's
Crazy, eh?
devastating, yeah.
Actually, my wife is on a cruise with my niece
Oh my God.
down there, but it's gone south of them, so they've missed it, which is perfect.
Okay, I hope you're happy.
And you're thinking, how come I'm not there? Yes. Someone has to work, let me tell you.
Yes. I get it.
All is good. All is good.
Thank you. Cool. Maybe again, since you joined up early, folks joined early, you can give a quick intro, Mike. That's gonna help people to know you and maybe get to connect with you offline. We didn't get started yet, but you can go for a quick intro if you want.
Certainly, no problem. My name is Mike Jabbar. I'm a Senior Resource Manager with Medicus Consulting in Ottawa. We also have a U.S. division, which I don't primarily work with. We're two separate groups, but we do have some roles in the private sector. Very few in the government now, it seems, and a couple in crown corporations. So not as many roles as we once used to work on, but still a couple of jobs. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you.
And I will share my my LinkedIn.
Yeah, if you can do that
profile
in the chat, that would be great. Awesome. We're getting some folks joining. Hey, Artem, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries.
Awesome. So we'll get started in almost 2-3 minutes, and accordingly we'll move with the sequence that I've sent you by email. Hey, Laura, thanks for joining.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this.
Well, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So we'll get started in 2 minutes. So we'll just warm up if you want to give a quick intro, Laura and Artem, while folks are just catching up, this would be a good chance for you just again to give quick intro. And again, you will do another intro when we get started, but a quick intro now would be nice too.
Sure, I can start real quick. So yeah, intro about myself. I work at Dex, and we're a pretty big global company focused on IT and digital solutions. I work in Toronto office, and I'm holding a couple accounts in Canada area. I would say I have a couple of clients in Vancouver. I work with a lot of clients in Toronto area. So yeah, that's a quick intro about myself, I guess. Yeah.
Thank
Not
you.
much to add here.
That's amazing. If you can share your LinkedIn profile in the chat, go ahead, Laura.
Sure.
All right, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. My name is Laura Haynes. I partner with companies all over the world, and I find myself often hearing that inside scoop. Hey, this person is great, but they were a good fit. It's just this is what's lacking. And so I'm really here just to talk about what I've learned along the way. And if you are finding you're having a hard time really breaking through, standing out, or you're even assessing your previous career and you're like, where was the gap or the disconnect? I'd really love to have a conversation with you and let's try to figure it out together.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Laura. Diane, do you want to give a quick intro yourself too?
Yeah, sure. I'm Diane Betcher. It's pronounced Betcher, like you bet your life. She, her pronouns, and I'm at Microsoft. I'm also a retired U.S. Navy officer, and I've been a hiring manager at Microsoft. I've been a hiring manager at some other places, and I've changed my career both by my choice and by other choices a number of times. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about how to think through a career change.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Diane, Laura, Artem, and Mike. And we're also having more speakers joining. But I think let's get going since we already have a big crowd today, and I want to give a chance for you guys to share your wisdom. So I'll start the recording and then kick it off. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So let's do this. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Happy Wednesday. This is our almost 10th job fair this year, and there is only one more to go in December 4th, and then we'll conclude for this year. But I'm very, very happy and excited to have this job fair. The previous ones were also amazing. I've got a lot of thanks and kudos for the help and support that this job fair provided to folks who are looking for jobs. And again, this is free for everybody. Everybody who's here is volunteering their time and energy to support you guys. There is nothing behind this except helping you land jobs or supporting you with some wisdom that would give you insights to be able to crack in. So again, thanks to everybody who's participating, and I'll give the panel a chance to introduce themselves when they get started. But I'm gonna run through some of the logistics of this call first, and then I'll hand it over to Laura to kick us off with the first participant. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, this is streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Again, for the folks who are on those streams, we have a closer group and Teams. If you want to join, I'll share the link in the chat. But this is recorded and streamed live. So if you're not comfortable being recorded, please leave now. So this is mostly for US and Canada folks. So if you're outside of US and Canada, you can listen, you can learn. We don't mind that, but be mindful, please, of that this is focused only on US and Canada tech professionals. So my name is Ahmed Zayed. I'm your host and facilitator today. I'm a founder of FutureCareer.net, a company that was built to help people land jobs in 3 months or less. I work day in, day out with tech professionals who are very, very talented, and they are struggling to land jobs. If you need more help, you can reach out to me. I'll share my contact details in the chat, and I'm happy to support you with your journey. Going next, so this job fair is not traditional job fair like most other job fairs where you stand in lines, hand over your resume. This is not like that. It's mostly collaboration. It's mostly discussions, shared by tech professionals and also recruiters who are in the field. So again, this is not that way that you used to go in booths and stand in lines. It's mostly a collaboration, so try to get as many information as you can. This is recorded, streamed live, so you can also watch the recording later on if you missed any point. And I'll share more details on a LinkedIn post later on after the job fair. Okay, so what's next? Again, share your wisdom, share your resources. Please avoid spamming in the chat, because again, we want to make this safe and nice environment for everybody who's collaborating with us. Next one. So what to expect today? Again, recruiters will be able to share some of the open roles and maybe some insights about what's happening in the market, and you can ask questions. We'll have 5 or 10 minutes Q&A at the end, and then we'll take a group selfie. So again, feel free to share information about yourself in the chat, just one time. Please don't share it multiple times. It's not needed to be multiple times. So please just keep it once, and we'll make sure to go through the chat at the end. Okay, so our panel for today, again, Laura, Ryan, Diane. I'll let everybody introduce themselves when they get started, but I'm just sharing a bit of who the panel is today, and they will take the sequence on turns to speak for 5-10 minutes or so, just to share their wisdom. So I'm just again sharing the folks who are going to be your panel for today, and then we'll go for a live Q&A. I think here, if you again want to connect with me and get some resources shared in this job fair, you can scan this barcode, and I'll send you those resources by email later on tomorrow. Again, I'll just need some time to process everything and send you all those things by email. Okay, I think, again, I just want to say thank you. There is a ton of people who shared this job fair and reposted and join every time, and I'm happy to be part of this community and help you guys deliver impact and also reach your goals in terms of jobs. I think that's it. So again, stay positive, stay proud. You've got this. You're awesome. The market is hard, but there is tons of people who love to help you. And I'll stop here, stop the screen share, and hand it over to Laura to kick us off. Laura, the floor is yours. And
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here today. Hi, everyone. So a little bit about me. I am a certified coach. I'm a leadership trainer. My specialty is really I work with organizations all over the world at all different career levels to say, how do we make sure everyone likes their job more? How do we make sure if you like your job, you stay there? How do we make sure if you don't like your job, we fix that? I've actually had the privilege of working with Ahmed, and I spoke as part of his Microsoft Leadership Enablement community 3 times. Once was how do you set your goals and make them happen? One was about when you have feedback, how do you manage up your career? And one was those presentation skills. So I'm going to be honest, when Ahmed first reached out to me, I was like, I'm not sure why I'm speaking at an IT job fair, but we had a conversation, and here's why I'm here. What I want to share with you today is something to help you in this transition period, how you can help build your confidence, unpack hard decisions, because I'm sure there's a lot of them right now, and have clarity. But I want you to just think for a minute with me. Just play along. What comes naturally to you? Drop it into the chat. This is a chance for you to flex, to brag a little about your skills. For you, what are those things where you don't know why, when you are in a meeting, it is just very easy to think quick on your feet? Maybe for you, you're very good at analyzing data. You are very good at not just writing code, but solving complex problems. What for you comes naturally? Drop it in. Feel free to include your LinkedIn. Here's my skill. Here's the thing that's easy for me. I don't know why. It just always has been. Because what's ever coming up for you right now, there's a good chance that is one of your natural strengths and abilities. For me, it's communication. Probably no surprise here. I'm in the right field. It's always come easy for me. If I'm at a table and there's silence, it's easy for me to just work the room. It's easy for me to get people talking. I've never been super nervous when it comes to public speaking. Thinking quick on my feet. It shows up. But here's the thing. It is my super strength until it's not. Have you ever been in a room with someone who they just don't let anyone else speak? They just never let the room breathe. You just can't help but be like, enough already. Oh my gosh, are you seriously talking again? See, that's the flip side of communication. If I just relied on what comes easily to me all the time, no one would ever want to be around me because I'm talking and I'm overfilling every room. It's my superpower until it's not. And to me, that is the power of the kind of coaching I want to talk about. It's not just knowing what your strength is. It's knowing, hey, how do we focus what comes naturally to you in a way that's going to help leverage exactly where you want to go? So maybe in your career, you've taken a test like this before, whether it's Myers-Briggs, DISC, Color Code, MBTI, maybe even strength coaching. There's a million of them. And the reality is, I'm willing to bet in the course of your career, if you've taken one of these, you likely read the results and said, yeah, cool, that's me. And you moved on. You relating? Have you ever just read it? You put it in a drawer, you said, yep, sounds about right, and you never do anything with it. What I want to talk about today is how you can leverage those results to very strategically focus your goals to get what you want. And I want to give you 3 examples. First is Christine. Christine was in the job market. She had been a senior leader for a giant tech company. I'm not going to mention their name, but I'm sure you can figure it out. And when she was impacted by layoffs, she was reflecting on, I kept getting feedback in my career. You're great at executing deadlines, but your teams don't like working with you. And I don't know why. I want to change that. I do not want that to be my reputation. And so we started to do some targeted coaching. And after she took the Gallup Strength Finder test, what we saw was that 2 of her top 5 strengths was 1, achiever, and 2, responsibility. Achievers are naturally wired to work hard. They possess a great deal of stamina to get the job done, an internal never-ending resource. Responsibility, this is so important, takes psychological ownership of what they say they will do. It's not just I like to follow through. It's once I say I'm going to do this, I feel like it is a core part of my identity if it doesn't happen. So now that we know what Christine's 2 top natural strengths are, we coached about it. What we looked at was when in the past has this come up where maybe for you, you were driving deadlines versus pausing to say perfect is the enemy of the good. When did we pause to check in to say, where is my bandwidth at versus just execute? And we created a new plan. We looked at tools like situational leadership. We looked at how can you position your strength for your next interview. And today, Christine is in a new position. She is leading a team, and she is happy to say, I've never led this effectively before because now I check myself, knowing my strength. Mary had some amazing technical skills, but she also found herself stuck with what she called analysis paralysis. Maybe you can relate. She would see jobs come up. She'd say, gosh, I think I'm qualified, but I've never worked with that exact software. I've never worked in that exact environment. And she would research and she would research and she would research. And she kept saying, look, I know I have skills, but I'm doubting what I'm qualified for. Through our work together, what we found is that she had 2 top strengths. Intellection and learner. Intellection means you really appreciate a deep discussion. Learner is you love the process of learning. And what we realized was for Mary, she is naturally wired to always research. It's never going to be enough. And that's great, but it was keeping her from just going for jobs, for interviewing well and confidently. Because Mary was naturally wired to have this never-ending, I'll never learn enough. So in our coaching together, we looked at what are you ready for today? How do you not only apply for that job, but how do you interview so well you are the candidate? And that, to me, is strength coaching at its best. So what I'm about to put into the chat for you is my package. I want to introduce you to a package that I call the growth code. Now, please hear loud and clear. My coaching pet peeve, there's some amazing coaches out there, is when coaches either overcomplicate an offer overcharge, or make it too long. What I am introducing to you is 2 60-minute conversations with me and 1 Gallup Strength Finder 34 assessment. You're going to get 26 pages from Gallup telling you here's how to focus your strength. And you're going to have 2 coaching conversations with me virtually to say, okay, based on this result and whatever you're looking for, how do we focus it strategically? That's it. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, please take a look. I want to make sure I understand the nature of those in this room, so I'm giving you a special price. If you fill out that form, and only if you fill out that form, you're going to get the package at a pretty steep discount. Because that tells me, hey, I joined the job fair. If for you, you're not ready to do that, but you would just like to stay in touch, find me on LinkedIn. I would love to stick around for the rest of this job fair, but I actually have to go teach a leadership workshop in 15 minutes. But I wanted to make sure I jumped on. I'll hang out for 2 more minutes, but I know there's a lot to get through. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope you all stay in touch, and good luck with your job hunt.
Thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate your wisdom here. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Ryan. Ryan, if you're ready, please go ahead.
Yeah, good. I guess good afternoon to most, depending on where you are. I thanks for having me again. I've had the pleasure of speaking on a few of these, and it's great to hear the other speakers as well. And I think the context that I'm always happy to add is I've done a lot of hiring in prior roles. I've spent quite a few years in recruitment as well, and my role now is on supporting early stage businesses and scale up organizations as they scale their teams at Invest Ottawa. So we have 600 companies in our programs, and I get to support them on the strategy, the assessment on how to hire successfully. So the other side of the coin, which is really important. And I do engage with a lot of job seekers, of course, as well. And I was hoping to maybe debunk a few myths right now that I think a lot of people feel when they're applying to roles. One of them, namely, being that no human is on the other side, that there are AI tools and the dreaded applicant tracking system that's automatically reviewing resumes, and there's no human input into that. So there can be that. It can certainly feel like that. But I think that's also transformed the way a lot of people write their resumes or cover letters, or the willingness they are to do it with a human touch. It is a tough market out there. I think if I can give some advice, and I'm usually not one to give a lot of advice, but remember that there is a human on the other end of that, and hopefully writing it for those eyes, not just the keywords and applicant tracking system that's there. It's also an opportunity that you can really make sure that you don't want to work for every employer, and not every employer wants you to work for them. So write it authentically. I think there's a lot of Gen AI use that starts to make a lot of the resumes look the same. If you're the person reviewing the 100, 200, sometimes 300 applicants, do the things that are authentic to you. A lot of the advice I think you're going to find online about hiring and recruiting and resumes and LinkedIn, you probably wouldn't consume it for dating advice. So probably don't consume it for hiring advice. It can look the same and feel the same. So do authentically you, be uniquely you. There's an opportunity for you to stand out more as an individual, while others are maybe starting to look a lot more and more similar, using the same tools to help augment their resume. So that's a bit of a piece that I think is important to remember. I know from these as well, it's great. Well, a lot of people look to connect on LinkedIn. I may be a bit of a different approach than others, not because I don't want to help you, but I won't be accepting your LinkedIn requests because it's not in your best interest in a lot of ways, in my opinion. The way the algorithm works, if you are on a job hunt and you have a whole bunch of connections that don't know you, that wouldn't be a referral for you, when you are posting content, if the way the algorithm works, if they're not engaging with your content, the first sample size that view it, the people that you really know and want to see your content aren't going to see it. So there is a quality versus quantity argument there, that the eyes that need to see your content or what you're looking to do and how you're looking to find your next role. If you've added, 500 kind of recruiters or people in the space that don't know you, that don't engage with your content, the person that you really want to see your content isn't going to see it. Because that sample size that sees it first doesn't engage. So the algorithm doesn't think your post is worth sharing further and further. I won't say I'm an expert on all that, but quality over quantity, I think, is really the approach these days. The other thing I'll kind of be an advocate for is joining early stage companies or joining startups. Everybody looks on the Indeed and LinkedIn platforms, a lot of the big logos. 66% of roles, specifically in Canada, are with small, medium enterprise. So, of course, the big logos employ a lot of people, but look beyond those. I will obviously plug in Ottawa, we have Invest Ottawa. We're an accelerator that supports those startups and scale-ups. If you're not from Ottawa, you likely have one in your town. Go and find them, see the companies that are there, that are scaling, that are growing. The opportunity to join an early stage business and wear a couple hats and grow your skill set and grow with that organization is massive. So, of course, there are lots of great roles with a lot of the logos we all know and recognize, but definitely look to your city as well. So what I work for is an organization called Invest Ottawa. I just saw the question in the chat. And we have a job board that is exclusive to the companies we support. Some of them are the fastest growing companies in Canada. They're on the Deloitte Fast 50 or the best places to work throughout our business journal. I'll share the link to our job board in the chat. Some phenomenal teams that are scaling. If you're not in the teams chat, techjobfinder.investottawa.ca. Great opportunity there to join an earlier stage business. Some of those roles you may not find on the big job boards. So I'll share that now in the chat. I won't connect with you on LinkedIn because you need to go and connect with the people that can vouch with you and refer you to roles. I unfortunately can't do that for everyone on this call, but you have people in your corner that can. Lean on them, quality over quantity. That's the way I think these days. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ryan. Really appreciate your wisdom, and again, we really also respect your opinion about LinkedIn. Definitely, we'll take care of that. Thank you so much. Just again, want to congratulate you for your newborn. Again, thank you so much for having this call, and looking forward to having him or her join us in the future. Who knows? Thank you so much. Again, guys, Invest Ottawa is doing an amazing work helping entrepreneurs and helping also people who are looking for jobs in tech. So make sure you check the website, check their events, check their job boards. It's massive and lots of great content. Thanks so much, Ryan. Okay, up next we have Diane. Thank you so much, Diane. You can take the floor, please.
Yeah, thanks, Ahmed. Hi, Diane Betcher. Again, she, her pronouns. I'm at Microsoft. I'm not currently a hiring manager, but I have been one. So if there are any questions about how a hiring manager might think of things, I'll be more than happy to share on that. What I'm going to share today is a couple of frameworks. So what I did in the U.S. Navy, I was an aviator, so not a pilot, but you've all seen Top Gun, so Maverick and Goose, right? So sat in the back, ran the mission, and the Navy gives us we call it the Big Blue Book. It's a manual about how to fly aircraft without killing yourself or others. And so I'm a big fan of reading the book and understanding what's going on in the book. But also what the interesting thing about the NATOPS manual is that it's actually a 3-ring binder because it changes all the time as well. So, keeping up to date on the most recent changes is something I enjoy too. What I'm going to share with you, I've got a couple of slides. Let me bring them up. So I'm going to start with something that I call it the anatomy and avocation. So I loved what Laura was saying about understanding yourself. But this concept of ikigai, and it supposedly comes from Okinawa. Perhaps it does. I've been to Okinawa. I'm not sure it does. But in any case, it's this idea that joy in our lives, right, is a result of having four things. It's having doing something that you enjoy doing, getting paid enough so that you can take care of yourself and your family, live the lifestyle that you want to live. I always say somebody has to, you have to buy the Pop-Tarts, right? So you do need to get paid. Doing something that you're good at. When we aren't proficient, we get frustrated, and so do those around us. And then doing something that we believe needs to be done in the world. Now, the critical part of this, I think, is that our day jobs, the 8 hours we spend between 9 and 5, and sometimes more than that, should be taken care of at least of two of these circles. I think 4 is incredibly aspirational, but 2 to 3 is pretty standard. And then you fill in that fourth circle with it could be a hobby, it could be a side hustle, it could be volunteer work within your faith community. So don't necessarily, when you're thinking about your job search, when you're thinking about, well, what do I want to do? What do I go after? Very often when I coach a lot of fellow veterans. And when I ask them, I say, what do you want to do? And they'll say, I want a job. Of course you do, right? I mean, of course, again, that pay circle, we need to get paid. You need a job. But what about the other things? Because if you don't have a clear understanding of what you enjoy and what you're good at, as well as what needs to be done in the world, then you're not going to be long for that job. You're going to do that job and it's not going to last. Either you're not going to be unhappy and not perform well, or maybe you're going to be performing well, but you're going to be still unhappy and want to leave. So if you have some time now for those people who are, maybe out of work right now, not currently working, you'll have some time for discernment. And this is what I would recommend is you spend a fair amount of time reflecting on those other circles, thinking about what was a day, what was a job maybe that you had where you got up every morning and you were jumping out of bed going, I can't believe they pay me to do this. I get to do this today. This is exciting. That's that pleasure circle. The proficiency is everything's firing on all cylinders. Now, if you're not proficient in the job that you want to be at, right, that's another way to spend some time. Get those certifications, do that training. The piece that I think that we don't spend collectively as a culture enough time thinking about is what is our purpose? And if you think about, what if you had a job that paid you well, that you enjoyed doing, and that you were good at, but it didn't fill your purpose? What would that be like? And I think the undercurrent comes in this thing we sometimes call discontent. And you even reflect on it and go, I'm not sure why, but I'm just not happy here. So what I always recommend, and anyone who's known me for more than a minute knows I read a lot and I recommend a lot of books. And I don't know if y'all can see this, but because sometimes AI blurs it out. But What Color is Your Parachute? I don't know if you've talked about this book before. It is the classic in job search literature. It's been out there this is the 1921 version, and it's been out since for 50 years. So it's been out there for quite a while. And the middle section is a collection of discernment exercises. And I'll give you an example because I go through the book about every 5 years, whether I'm actively looking for a job or not, because, we change over the time. So I'll go through these discernment exercises again. And I realized something was a little bit off in my life. And I had moved to, I have a home office, and even in the before times, my job was a work from home job. But I wasn't really happy with my office, and I was trying to figure out why. And I went through, one section is on working conditions. And I realized I didn't get out enough. Like the jobs I liked were the ones where I either walked to work or, part of my day was spent walking or running or just being out in nature. And so recognizing that, doing that discernment, I did two things. First of all, I added a walk to my day. So every morning I check my schedule and I see which of my meetings can be a walking meeting. And then the second thing I did was I bought a bird feeder and I attached it to my office window. Now, I call it a bird feeder. It's probably more of a wildlife feeder because here in Maryland, I actually even get deer coming by. The squirrels love me as well. But I get the sense every once in a while I look out my window and there's like 3 deer standing at my wildlife feeder. And that brings me joy. That brings me pleasure and that helps. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big change. It could be something as simple as just adding a walking meeting to your day. So I share this framework with you to be a sense of a way to think about when you apply for roles. As a hiring manager, sometimes I'll ask people like, why do you want this job? And if you're really clear on why this role, this organization is a good fit for you, that helps me as a hiring manager feel like you're going to stay. And I want you to stay because hiring is a lot of work and I don't want to have to do it in another 6 months because we brought you on board and it wasn't what you were expecting and you're unhappy and you end up leaving. So I want you to be happy in the role. The other framework I want to share with you is, let me see if I can get to it. This idea of stepping into learning. So I mentioned about proficiency. So if you're not proficient in a role, it's going to lead to frustration for you and for those around you. So the example I always give is, well, let's start with, we know what our comfort zone is. And the thing about comfort zones is they're just so comfy, right? Right outside of the comfort zone is your learning zone. And then beyond that is what I call the danger zone. And the example I'll give you is right now I'm a chief of staff for an organization and it's pretty comfortable for me, although I do have elements of it that are in the learning zone for me. And that's best for me. And as you continue to learn, that comfort zone can expand. The danger zone is the bridge too far. It's the job that I couldn't do well, even if I could convince somebody to hire me into it. So I've always thought that being a UX designer for Halo would be a lot of fun. I know absolutely nothing about it. I don't know anything about the gaming industry. I don't know what makes a game good, except for that I like to play it. And I've never been a UX designer in my life. So if I were to go for that role, I said, that's the role I want. I'm not going to be able to do it in one step. I'm going to have to pivot across. And the example I'll give you is I wanted to move back overseas. I've lived most of my adult life outside of the continental U.S. I wanted to spend some more time. I wanted to give my children that experience. And so I couldn't just leap into a brand new job over outside of the U.S. So what I did was I found a role that was basically the same role I was already doing in the U.S., but in Singapore. And because I had a lot of the comfort zone in there, it was just an element of the learning zone for me. I was able to get the role, do it well when I got there, rather than going way too far. So those are the two frameworks I wanted to share with you today. And again, thank you for letting me be here, and hopefully that was helpful.
Thank you so much, Diane. Really appreciate your support and wisdom. And again, guys, this is by design, why we are getting speakers to tell you some of the things that your blind spots for you. This is very important for you guys to understand what's happening and how to get to the next job. If you like the wisdom, then I'll be happy to share more. But next we have Artem, who's going to be speaking about some jobs from Canada. Thank you so much again, Diane. Really appreciate your wisdom, and we'll open the questions for the Q&A when times come. Artem, if you're ready, please go ahead.
Sure. Hi guys, nice to meet you, everyone. I will try to be pretty efficient. I don't have much time on this meeting, so I think we heard a lot of tips on how to get a job. I'm here to share jobs that I have right now active in Canada. So if you guys are Java developers, if you're Python developers, please reach out to me. I do have a bunch of opportunities, different levels of seniority for different type of companies. I work with startups. I work with banking industry. I do a lot of work with BMO Bank specifically. They're one of our major clients. So please do reach out to me if you're one of those professionals. Also, if you work in a technical space with payments, credit cards, or similar, feel free to reach out. I do have roles for those as well. This is my main focus, mostly on software engineering and technical side of banking. So yeah, I am able to help you land the job. Pretty straightforward in terms of how we go through the interview process and how can I help you to connect with hiring manager of specific companies. I'll be able to coach you for interviews and go with you through the whole process. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm gonna land my work email here in the chat. So yeah, we'll expect some emails coming from you guys, or to make it easier, you can just forward me your resume right away and we can connect for a quick chat to make it all easy and fast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Artem. Thank you so much for sharing those links and jobs. And guys, you feel free to reach out to Artem offline if you would like to get more information. Thank you so much. Okay, what's next? We have Omar Khan. Omar, if you're ready, please go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thank you so much. So it's my first time, guys. Omar Khan. First time being here in this IT job fair. Excited to be with all of you. My background is actually in technology. I was in IBM as a product manager before. Now I'm a startup founder, CEO for an organization called Ruh Care. It's an online therapy platform for mental health care across Canada. And so my kind of like insights will be really sharing two perspectives, one from a recruiter lens and one from a personal journey lens as well, finding a job before. So firstly, from the recruiter lens, the last job we hired for at Ruh, we had about 1,100 applications for it. And I want to share some insights, having gone through pretty much every single one of them. This time around, we did not use AI. We went through every single application. And one tip I wanted to really make sure I share with you today was, from a recruiter lens, when we see an Excel sheet with all the applications coming in, it was very obvious for me that, for this one question, for example, every answer starts with the exact same wording, right? We would see a pattern. And so now, because a lot of people are using the same tools, AI, ChatGPT, and so on, it's very easy to spot applications which are written by AI, right, and not unique. So we heard speakers earlier about like being unique, being yourself. That goes a long way now, especially more so now. And I think personally, I use AI daily. It's nothing wrong in using AI, but if you're just blasting applications like that from a recruiter standpoint, for me, that was like an easy, because there's no effort put into this application, right? There's not even time put in to customize this application or personalize it for the company. So my first step really would be take some time. It does show when we see it on our end and the back end that AI was being used. So even if you're using AI, personalize it a little bit so that your application stands out a little bit at least. So that's number one. And then from a personal lens, when I was applying for IBM right after school, this was also a similar kind of time frame. This is actually a few years ago now, like 6-7 years ago, but similar time frame as in the job market was tough. I graduated, I started applying for the roles, I applied to IBM. I did not hear back for 4 months. And that was my dream job. That's the first job I applied to. I did not hear back for 4 months. And personally, I was losing hope. I was waiting, blank, pin drop silence. And all of a sudden I get an interview and then things rolled up pretty quickly after. And then 2 months later, I was enrolled. So it took 6 months for the hiring process. Why do I share that with you? Is because of the hope and resilience it takes in a job market like this right now. We might be applying again and again and again and not actually seeing the results, right? So the one important thing to remember here is that you not hearing back is not necessarily a direct reflection of your value. So make sure that you're not tying that to yourself. Obviously, we want to make sure we are not also letting ourselves off the hook and we're working on ourselves. But also keep in mind that there are other factors that the current job market also reflects economics as well in our our community right now. So it's not just tied to your worth or your value as a person that you're applying. So that's one important aspect to remember. The outcome doesn't really determine your value in that sense. And practically, I wanted to share like 5 tips with you. Beyond the believing in yourself part, but really like building guardrails, around your nervous system, especially from a mental health lens. Like sometimes our motivation is high on some days, sometimes it might be low on some days. So making sure we have systems around it. So number 1 would be having a strong schedule as you're applying for jobs. Make sure you have a routine built in. That way, on days where you have high motivation, you're doing that. On days you don't have motivation, you're also doing that, right? So you have a schedule built in, so your days are not blurring out and your motivation is not eroding over time. So make sure you have a set routine and schedule. That will be super helpful in your application process. Number 2 would be setting realistic targets. Making sure we're not like going overboard with ourselves. 5 tailored applications is so much better than like 50 rushed ones, right? So set realistic targets of what you want to apply for. Try to like work towards it, so you're able to check that and kind of have that feeling of being able to apply it, and that's an achievement as well on its own. Number 3 would be having mentors, coaches, guides. You have like great mentors here today in the room, Ahmed, others. Feel free to connect, feel free to connect with, people you might know in LinkedIn, others in the space, so you don't have to do this alone, right? You have help and support available to you in the community. Feel free to tap into the resources that you have. Number 4 is any kind of rituals that keep you steady. So whether that be, for some people it's breath work, prayer, journaling, walks, sports, different hobbies, right? Life is bigger than just applying for jobs right now. I know it's tough, but at the same time, make sure you are keeping that stable anchor for yourself, to kind of enjoy life at the same time and not kind of really bring yourself down, not hearing back. Last but not least, make sure you don't lose hope. As much as it's easy to say that, it's hard to do. So keep your hope as much as possible. And last thing, I'll just mention the same thing with Ruh. We are a mental health organization. This summer, and I'll also mention we do have financial assistance as well. So whether you need a session to kind of help with burnout or any kind of anxiety, depression, anything that you're facing, we're more than happy to support. It could be $0 per session to whatever you can afford. We just want to make sure we are there to help provide the care that you might need as well. So feel free to reach out if you need any mental health support as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Omar. I really appreciate your support and wisdom and your insights about your journey too. Okay, up next, I think we have Mike Jibara. If you're ready, please go ahead.
Yeah, certainly I'm ready. Yeah, my name is Mike Jibara with Medicus Consulting. I'm a senior resource manager now for about almost 17 years, and you can tell by my my video that I'm not a young man by any stretch of the imagination. But there's been a lot of things already mentioned by the previous speakers, which are all very, very good. And I think, as you say, as Omar was saying, in terms of using, ChatGPT or any other platform to help you with the resume, make sure that you make it individual and personal, but make sure whatever you have in the resume is actually what you've done, and don't embellish anything. It'll come out in the interview if you get an interview. And also, just make sure that you are prepared and practice a lot. And as Omar was saying, getting a mentor and reaching out to people on LinkedIn that are in the similar field that may help you in your journey. And it is a journey. And it's like anything else. It's a job looking for a job. You have to work at it. You just can't fire out the resumes without following up, without researching the company, which company you actually want to work for. I know some people that don't want to work for certain companies because of the industry they're in. Their personal beliefs don't align with that company, so they stay away from it. A job is a job, but still some people have morals and values, and that's what they want. It is and like everyone has mentioned, and everybody realizes, it's a tough market out there, and I don't want to harp on it. I've never seen it like this. Like there's so many people looking and not as many opportunities. And you've got to differentiate yourself from everyone else. They're all looking. You've got to find a way on how can you be different than someone else? How can you be noticed? What can you do differently to, get that? Yes, let's bring him in. Let's schedule an interview. It's a lot of work, but you've got to be persistent. And as Omar said, exercise, join groups, do something. A healthy mind is a healthy body, and a healthy body is a healthy mind. It works together. Some of the roles that I'm currently working on in Canada, and I've got a few in the US, but they're specific in terms of analog and design, ASIC design. I've got field application engineer, could be in the US or Canada, somebody with strong PCB design. If they have experience with Altium or Cadence or Mentor. I've got some product manager positions in Ottawa, but that requires clearance, 4 days on site downtown. And then I've got a network architect position downtown Ottawa, 4 days on site. It's a perm position, must be able to get clearance. And the other positions I do have is an RF optimization engineer in the US. They could be remote or Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas. And I do have a RAN engineer position in Toronto, somebody who's got performance and optimization experience. If anybody has that experience, please reach out to me. I've put my LinkedIn connection. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll get all my contact information. If you would like, check out our website and check and see what roles that we may have. If you feel that you're a fit, reach out to me. I know Ahmed's going to say, don't everybody bombard them. And also check the LinkedIn postings, of course. And if you see anything at all, call me if you feel you're 100% fit, because we get resumes. If you send your resume to the role, and I'm being honest, I checked out one of the positions we had posted last week, and it's not the highest I've ever seen. 1,300 resumes submitted to that one position. So call me.
Awesome.
Or send me a LinkedIn message. Say, can you check this out for me? I'm a perfect fit. The word here is perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Ahmed. You're doing a great job, and thank all the other speakers and everything else. But keep hope, keep working at it, and be positive. It's a journey, right?
100%. Thank you so much, Mike. And again, if you don't
You're
mind,
welcome.
can you share your links in the chat as well, so folks can either check the jobs?
I did.
Yeah.
I already did.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
But I'll redo it though.
Thank you so much. Okay, I
You're
think that's it from the speaker side. So we'll now open up for Q&A. So if you guys have questions, please raise your hand, and we'll be happy to take questions. So Jibrilla Isa, if you don't want to unmute, you say your name, role, and question, please, and location. Go ahead.
Hey everyone. Thank you for the panelists. Ahmed, thank you for being here. My name is Jibril. I'm in New York City, and I have a question regarding, I'm actually in cybersecurity. I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I'm more into like a vulnerability, defense, which is SOC, security or operation, and a little bit of like offense as well. But this is a question, I guess, to Diane. Diane mentioned like being Microsoft. Diane, I actually also kind of like I kind of searched you on LinkedIn. I saw what you did and everything. I wanted to know. I know you mentioned that you're not Microsoft anymore. Like, what would you say would be the path for someone to really land a job in security at a place like that? And the second question, I guess, will be for Mike. Mike, I know you mentioned like majority of your kind of role are in Canada and some in US. Like, have you ever had like people from maybe US actually migrating to Canada because of an opportunity that you may have helped them? Those are my two questions.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll let Diane take the first one first, and then we'll see if Mike's still there. We'll take the second one. Go ahead, Diane. And you're mute.
Sorry.
Yes.
Microsoft's one of those places where we get 1,300 resumes for things, and I'll open a rec and I'll get 100 qualified applicants, right? Like qualified people applying. So the way I got into Microsoft and the way that I've seen people be successful is you get mentored in. Mm-hmm. So I knew somebody who was at the company already, and he knew the job was coming available before it even hit the jobs boards. And so he reached out to me and said, we'd like you to come in and have an initial conversation. And then he gave me homework. And I will tell you, I probably spent at least 40 hours prepping for my interview loop, which was 3 hours. So I probably invested 40 hours of prep work, of exploring the company, exploring the people, exploring the role, putting my questions together, and those kinds of things. So if you don't already know somebody at Microsoft, what I would recommend is getting involved in an industry group or a technology group. So if, for cyber, it would be maybe like SANS, right? Become a SANS instructor, for example. And then that would give you an opportunity to work with other people in the industry and in that profession, and they would see your work, right? I think Ryan mentioned, like, if I couldn't refer you today with saying anything other than I was on a call with him, but if we work together as co-instructors at a SANS event, then I could say, hey, I've seen his work. He's diligent. He's smart. He knows I can say more. It's a more meaningful referral. And so this is where the pivoting comes in, where I was talking about. So stepping into where you can get closer to people who could then refer you actually into the company.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. Mike, do you want to comment on the...
Yeah, certainly. I'm not an immigration expert, but it depends on what your immigration status is in the U.S. If you're a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, I think that you may have, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can get a TN visa. And all it is that if you do get a position in Canada, you need a letter of employment from the new employer for you to get that visa. But there's also, you can get an open work visa, or if you can get a company to sponsor you on a closed work visa, then you're able to move to Canada for the role. If it's a remote role, if you can work for a Canadian company, the only downfall there is, of course, is the exchange rate.
Thank you.
30% less. So I hope it helps.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jabrella. Okay, up next, Gloria, if you want to again unmute, name, role, location, and your question, please.
Hi, my name is Gloria Vela, and I am in Texas, USA. And I would like to know what is the percentage fit that I'm a software developer, and I would like to know what is the percentage fit that we should be applying to, like 80, 90, because 100 is pretty difficult.
Good question. I think, Mike, maybe you want to take this question based on the number of resumes that you're checking daily. When you're checking how big is the percentage fit? Again, definitely you would like as 100%, but what would be acceptable?
Well, it's we have AI, of course, sourcing out the amount of resumes that come in, and I think it's around 70 or 80% of what the skill set that the candidate may have. Then it'll be, it'll send us a notification saying, this candidate's got this, and they may be worth a call, or they may be a fit for the position, and it would list some of the stuff that they don't have. So that, if you can weigh it, if some of the most important qualifications, if they don't have that, then they're discounted. But if it's 70 to 80%, yes, then you can eliminate them. As when there's so many resumes, it's impossible for anybody to review them. So as long as you're up over like this 70%, I think that's pretty safe to say that if you match those requirements up to that point, then yes. And it wouldn't take you long to get up to speed with the others, right? With the other 30%, if it's, within the similar technology.
Yeah, and like you mentioned that, so it does go through the ATS and it gives you a percentage match on whoever doesn't have the skill. Whoever has the skill set of 70 and above, then you're gonna be notified and you might consider interviewing that person.
Yeah, but and you have to keep in mind, so if somebody is 70% and then you've got more that are 80 and 90%, then you won't be needing to reach out to the people that are 70%. So the higher the percentage that you qualify for, the better it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gloria. Thanks, Mike. Okay, Ashir, I think you're next. Again, name, role, location, and your question, please.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name is Asher. I'm in Mississauga, Canada. I'm a recent grad. Not really recent anymore. I graduated last year in December, and I've been kind of searching for software development roles since. I have a degree in computer science. I was working at a company called KPN Power, and I got laid off recently because of the tariffs. So the work kind of just abruptly halted. My question is, so I've been applying nonstop for almost at this point 10 months, more than 10 months, and obviously I have 2 or 3 years of experience between co-ops and other things I did, and I do side projects all the time. But I feel like I'm not able to break through. There's barely any junior roles, and on LinkedIn I feel like there's 1,500 people applying to any role. So I don't know, how do I stand out? So I'm doing side projects. I'm reaching out to people on LinkedIn. 99% of them don't respond at all. So I just want to know, what is someone like me? What am I doing differently, or what should I be doing differently to kind of pivot in and get that first role? Because I think once I grab that first role, I can snowball it. I have no doubts in my ability. So that's my question.
Awesome. Good question. I think, Omar, if you're still there, I know you passed through this maybe sometime before, and you've been a fresh graduate at a certain point of your life. I know it's different now, but maybe you can share some insights of, what you felt would work on this today environment.
Sounds good. Sorry, I was actually, my bad. I was reading
Yeah,
emails.
yeah,
I didn't
sure.
notice. If you could, don't mind quickly summarizing.
Yeah, so the question is, for fresh graduates, how would they stand out in today's market without experience? And companies, are very competitive. They want experience. So again, I think,
Absolutely.
again, you've done few things, and you have your own journey now. So please share whatever,
Absolutely.
makes relevant here.
For sure. So I can tell you, maybe this I'll play more of put my recruiter hat on now, because I review a lot of applications now. What really does stand out for us nowadays is side projects and seeing, what has a person done in their free time. So if you are able to let's say work on hackathons in some areas, or work on some side projects and get some traction going, especially seeing, for example, some of the recent roles we hired as well, we saw some people took initiative, started volunteering at a nonprofit and led a project, and they are not talking about that project on the resume. And it's not like I was this person doing this role. It was more tangibly I led this. This is the result, right? The STAR statements we talk about in resumes, right? This is the situation, action, result that came from my effort directly. If you're able to tangibly showcase that actually stands out quite a lot for us. And personally, when I'm reading resumes right now, all resumes mostly look the same at this point. So it's really these small changes that make people stand out. So that would be my tip, is if you are able to work on side projects and actually actively highlight that. And I would say, when just reflecting back right now, in my IBM interview, I actually highlighted extracurricular activity I was doing in a campus club at the time when I was in university. And that's probably what actually got me the role after. So those go a very long way, more than people might know.
Thanks so much, Omar. Diane, Mike, I want to give you a chance also, if you have insights you want to share with Ashir or anyone in the same state.
I would just reiterate that finding an industry that you have an affiliation for or a technical group where you can volunteer there. So, if you think of like PMI for project managers, being able to say that, like a lot of those industry organizations run off volunteers. So you help put together a program, you developed a training course, and then other people can refer you in with reference to, I've seen this person show up at work. I've seen their work ethic. I've seen their creativity. I've seen their innovation. That's going to be, that's what for me as a hiring manager moves a resume to the top of the pile. It's a strong referral from someone I know and trust.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, we have like 1 minute left, so we normally take a group selfie. And again, if someone wants to keep asking questions, I can stay for a little bit longer, but I want to respect the speaker's time. If they want to drop, feel free to drop. So I'll just go and take the group selfie now, and I'll stick around to answer some questions if you guys have more questions to ask. So if you're ready, you wanna be in camera, I'll just do the together mode so that it shows only the folks in camera here. So let's do this. Let's keep the big one. Apply. Okay, awesome. So when you're ready, I'll say 1, 2, 3 and smile. Okay, so when you're ready, 1, 2, 3 and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And thank you so much for all the speakers who shared their wisdom. And I truly apologize if there was any inconvenience in the chat by some people. And again, it's it's a tough time, to be honest. There is some folks who are really stressed out. They have some some emotions. So I truly appreciate that, and I respect that too. But again, I just want to also thank all the speakers who shared their wisdom and shared their insights. Again, everybody here shared this from their heart, from a great place, and they're doing it for free to help you guys with your journey. So again, thank you so much for everybody who shared their wisdom. I'll stick around for more questions. I'll see who's next to answer. And again, speakers, if you would like to stick around, please go ahead. Otherwise, I respect your time. If you want to drop, thank you so much too.
I have to head out. I have a couple of meetings I got to join. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Best of luck for everybody, and keep plugging away, of course. Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Diane.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Omar.
Thanks for organizing.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Thanks.
Rachana, you have a question or you're good?
Yeah, I had it, but it was for Mike actually. He left.
Okay.
But that's okay. I can send him a message. I saw a couple of positions which I was interested in, and I just felt like almost 90%. So that's why I was like hoping to talk to him, which I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. So if there is no more questions, I'll let you guys go. Otherwise, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this was a good investment of your time. Again, this is not a traditional job fair. I know some folks may have, expectation that this is all about, sharing jobs, but sometimes, the wisdom is more important than the jobs, because, if you get the interview and you're not able to land the offer letter, that means that you need some help somehow. So again, thank you so much, everybody who joined us today. And if there is no more questions, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Wednesday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.